Alec, the last we caught up with you now must be a couple of years ago, 3 years ago maybe.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You had just taken this 770 combine.
Yeah, it was our first season. Yeah.
And we were in wheat.
The last of the winter wheat.
The last of the winter wheat. Yeah, well, it was heavy stuff. It was probably around the same time as this.
It was a bit later. Yeah, it was late. It was probably a week, 10 days later. It was right at the end of August we finished the wheat. And then we came home that night and started on beans. We had about another week cutting beans.
That's right. I remember that. And here we are, middle of August, and you're practically done.
Yeah, well, we finished all the winter crops, and now we're cutting spring wheat. We've got a couple of 100 acres of this in this time. After tonight, we'll have about 100 acres left, spring wheat. We've already cut about 170 acres of beans. Last couple of mornings, just had a few damp days. No rain to speak of, but it was just too damp for wheat. It's been so hot, the beans have been shattering out.
Yeah.
So no, it's just ideal really, just keep the combines moving, just flicked across the beans. A bit more moving around, but it's worth doing.
Wilkinson Farming.
Yeah.
Since we first came about here, we had a 570 and a 600 and a
little 430 Evo.
And time has even moved along for Alec, and Alec doesn't like to move along when the time's too handy now.
Bit harsh.
But I'm right.
Fair, yeah.
I said to him earlier on here, send me a pin, and he was like, yeah, I still use an Nokia 5110.
It's a 6310.
But anyway, but I was out with Gavin McKnight, a young lad from home who has just bought actually a 570.
Right.
And, you know, it's like a mega combine to be around. Back in that day, that was the flagship.
It was a great combine, the 570 plus that we had. A
really, really good combine, but a great combine for kind of our guys, just where we're based. You upgraded then to the 770. Yeah. You had a few wee fettling issues. Remember, we were a part of that. Remember?
How you turned out and all the drum pulleys fell to pieces, yeah.
It was a good job I was there though.
It was, yeah.
Those are heavy.
Yeah, they were heavy, yeah, very heavy.
And but you got that sorted, and class looked after you very well. Since then, how has the 770 done? Because this is its
4th season with me.
And 10th year.
Yeah, she's 10 years old this time, yeah.
So, can you cut big acres with older combines?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. You've got to do the servicing. You've got to go through everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do a lot of work with one of these. I mean, in its day, this was the biggest combine. I mean, this got superseded by the 780. There wasn't a huge amount of difference between this and the 780. Horsepower and a few sort of tweaks.
So yeah, this has been flagship.
It was when her day, yeah. But she's been very, very good.
Well, do you ever look at the likes of Charles over there at Eastern Farm? Went down to one combine this year. You still think the two?
When you're running two, we've got 9 different farms,
yes.
9 different landowners that we're in. We're not a contractor that turns up and does combining. We're in partnership with these owners, and it's very important that every owner thinks they're getting the best service from us.
But then every owner needs that service from you, because that's maybe they're one of 9 to you.
Yeah.
But that's theirs.
Yeah, I'm the only one to them.
Yeah.
So I like the flexibility of 2 combines. Like now, Martin's just changing a header knife drive belt on a header. By the time he's done that, I'll be finished this and we'll be moving. And he's going to cut beans and I'm going to cut spring wheat. And here in Oxfordshire, there's not an abundance of big fields and big farms. And having the flexibility to move the combines around and clear a farm at a time.
Alec.
I know, I saw he buzzed. There he is, look.
I hope that drone catches this. This is not a big field according to Alec.
It's only 49 acres.
I know it's going to look real bad because when we Tom was out with the what size was that field?
300.
No, but we don't have big fields here. No,
I know.
No, but I get what you're saying.
This end of the farm's back around Whitney where home is. We don't have a lot of big fields. 20 acres would be an average on like the next estate. So I like the flexibility of 2.
We'd love a few 20 acres. You need to visit.
I know, I do, yeah.
But no, yes, I'm with you. I'm genuinely with you. You feel the 2 gives you a bit more flexibility.
Look, on a you know, when you do get in a good block of wheat, at the losses that I'm happy with, both these combines, the 770 and the 600, will cut 66 tonne an hour. Well, that's still more than any one combine at the minute. But if they go off on their own, they're still doing 70, 80 acres a day in a 4-ton crop of wheat. So, you know, I just like the flexibility of 2. The one thing we have changed this year, we have run the combines together for 90% of the time. That's made a big difference, because just logistically we need less trailers. There's more people in a one team, so it's easier when you've got to move, pack up, and everybody's actually liked it, because we're on one farm for less time. But if we do need to split up a block on one farm, it's just quicker, because you haven't got so many headers on and off, because each combine might only do it half as many times. So we thought we'd try it this year. I mean, the weather's been with us. It's been fantastic. I mean, this is a 4-week run, and there's only been a day and a half we haven't combined.
I was chatting to Gavin.
Yep.
So Gavin, you'll see in the footage here, a New Holland combine has made it in to helping Alec out a wee bit. New Holland.
I have waited at him. He's got to buy a class.
So he helped you cut a bit of crop.
Yep.
And he's now running your top down. On some of his land.
Yeah, on the 9.5.
On the 9.5, which is, we've never seen the 9.5 before, so I wanted to go and literally see it, so I took the camera with me and took a few shots. He was saying that 23 days straight or something.
Yeah.
He'd never seen that in his life before.
I've never done that before, Gareth. No, in 28 years of running my own business, it's been relentless. But it's been fantastic, because every day I can plan where we're going, what we're doing, how many blokes we need. There's no drying, it's just tip it in the store.
I mean, I'm no expert, but this looks like a crop that I'll not say has struggled, because it looks like a good head on it, but there's not much straw in it.
No, there's not. No, the heat in June and July really burned off the spring crops. The autumn crops were amazing. Winter barley, winter wheat, oilseed rape. It could well be our best harvest ever.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Even with all the drought wheat?
Yeah. All the autumn crops were well established, well rooted. We've got Skyfall, winter wheat, bush away 80, 81, and we don't farm. We farm very little grade 1 land. It's all grade 3 and 4. So that sort of crops to us is pretty unheard of. So yeah, it's been a really good harvest, but the spring crops have taken a hammering. The spring barley was okay. That was doing sort of 2.7, 2.8 tonne an acre. It's made malting, which is really good. But the spring wheat's like the last cereal to actually fill the ear. So when we had those,
so dry.
Yeah, when we had those, we had like 10 days of 30 plus degrees. If you notice the wheat, it's not really necked over. A lot of it's stuck straight up, so it's burned off rather than ripened off. And the straw's very short this time, it's chopping up to nothing.
So then whenever you come to cutting that type of a crop, you're working with a 10.5 metre convo header.
Yeah.
So do you run your knife, what way do you run that setup, knives back in a bit?
Yeah, just a little bit from the winter wheat, because the crop's not so tall and so heavy, so it doesn't fall into the auger. So we just pulled the knife in a little bit.
And then your header looks like it's well back, and you're still getting a good tickle on it.
Yeah.
But I noticed earlier on, you had to have, on the beans, you had to have the thing right down.
Yeah, the beans are very short this time, the spring beans, so with that knife right in as close to the auger as possible.
And does that make that combo header a great job?
Well, it's only a vario. It's not the really posh following the ground.
Yes. It's just the knife comes in and out, and the header up and down.
Just a vario, yeah.
I If I said to you, Alec, next year I'm giving you whatever combine you want with whatever head configuration you want for free for the year, what are you taking? What would you try?
Well, I'd like to try the new Deere X9.
Okay.
With the, I think it's called the VeriFlex.
The Flex Draper?
Yeah.
I owned it about.
I had a look at one that was on demo at a friend of mine's farm last year. That looked, I mean, it looked like a lot of wearing parts to me, but it looked fantastic. Just thinking of the maintenance in 5 years' time.
But you only getting it free for a year.
I know. That's why I said I'd have it.
So,
but I really like to try the big class.
So how many 7Rs do you have now?
None.
None?
Still got my 6, 7, 8, 10s. Got a couple more 8 series in the barn. But yeah, still got all the 7.8s. She's some tractor, that 9.6.
Well, what's the difference really between the 9.5 and the 9.6?
Well, in theory, 50 horsepower.
Do they even have a PTO?
9.5 does, but the 9.6 doesn't. But she's all there. We did a bit of work on the engine last year.
Is she?
Yeah, she is, yeah. And then some. She blew the head gasket last year. So we took the head off, and the valve seats were quite worn. So she's had new valves, new overhead cam bushes.
Yeah.
I just thought she'd been with us for 8 years, and all that tractor does is pull flat to the floor. So we spent a bit of money on her, and the engine is real good again. Not an ounce of wear in the pistons, the liners. That was all perfect in the block, but we did just spend a bit of money on the head.
Oh wow.
So yeah, she's going well again.
You still think there's no place for a chaser?
No, not for us.
Just the way you're in and out of farms and just same as before?
Yeah, I mean, this will be, when we finish this field, this will be our 3rd move today. If we were running the lorries, if we were running a central store and running the 2 lorries backwards and forwards, a chaser would be absolutely brilliant.
But then your lorries are busy. What's your lorries doing then? Obviously running grain to mill.
Yeah, we're moving a bit of grain at the minute. Noel's just been on compost today. Well, we've got a 3rd lorry now as well. That's something sort of extra since last year we were here. And we got
Does that mean you're taking life in the one?
My old 1, 2, 4? No.
Easy?
No, she's still lit all winter when I drive her.
Okay.
No, she's a good old bus.
So what are you running? Obviously Terry's 560.
Yeah, Terry's 560 manual, and Nigel's been with us nearly a year next month. He's got a lovely 12 reg 620 tag. He does most of the more walking floor work now.
But all in all, Wilkinson Farming's
still
flat
here.
out.
Still here, flat to the floor.
Flat out. Well, Alec, thank you very much for letting us sail with you for a few minutes again and having a quick catch up.
Always a pleasure, Gareth.
I think this is just as nice a view as any, just a kind of that out road down there. That's a dose.
That is a busy road day for you.
But anyway, it's lovely to see you're flat out.
Yeah.
It's lovely to see you're going well, and fantastic.
Thanks, Gareth.
Said hi, 'cause I was way too shy. What would have happened if you just had passed me by?